How can I avoid sinning? So, as I've said in previous messages, we won't be perfect in this life, Christian or not. So there's no point in expecting to be perfect. No matter how hard we try, it's impossible. But as I said in the last message, we should aim for perfection. We should aim to be like the perfect one, Jesus. Because by doing this, we're going to be the best that we can be. Whereas if we don't aim for perfection, to be like Jesus, then of course we're get nowhere near that. So what are some strategies to help us to avoid sinning? Well, I'm going to give you just two, although there's more. So first thing we can do, I think, is to recognise and remember that sin is a lie. Sin tells us that if we do this, we do that, it will make us happy, or it will benefit us in some way. And maybe it will for a short time, or even a long time. But sooner or later, sin always leads to destruction. And it leads to great hurt for ourselves or someone else. And it offends God. And it doesn't offend God because God is easily offended or touchy or something like that. It offends God because God wants you to be close to him because he loves you. And because as he loves you, he hates sin, because sin causes distance between us and God. So if we remember and remind ourselves that sin is actually destructive, unhelpful, no matter how attractive it might seem, then that will help us to remember that it's worth avoiding. And to help us avoid it, we should daily be trying to focus on things that are pure, that are good and are pleasing to God. And that's things like friendships, family. When these things are helpful and good, it's above all thinking of how God loves you so much, how he sent his son to die for you. This is the way to avoid sin. And the second point I'd like to make is that sin is a waste of time. It really is a waste of time, and this life is short in one sense. And so why do we want to waste our time sinning, doing things that are not really worthwhile and will end up causing problems for us or others or both and dishonour God? What a waste of time. We could be using this time to help people. We could be using this time to enjoy things that are good. We could be using this time to worship God. A much better way of spending our time and lives.